So my phone goes off and it's a text from Apple and they're saying they can come and repair my computer, which is great news because my spacebar has been broken for ages and it's not working properly. But there's two caveats. The first thing is that they need to come in the next 30 minutes. And the second one is that they need to erase my computer completely. So I've got to start over scratch or restore from a backup. And so what do? Well, I do what most people do, is try and negotiate. Say, hey, could you do tomorrow or the next day? So I can plan for a 6, 7, 8 hour interruption in my day. And they say no. We have to come either today or in 4 weeks. Which would you prefer? By the way, hi, my name's Matthew. If you're new here, my goal is to spark you to think differently so you can create new possibilities for yourself in your life. So here I am having to make this decision about what I'm going to do. Am I going to put my whole day plans to one side and deal with this computer? Or am I going to deal with the spacebar issue for another 4 weeks and then deal with it? I decide they're going to come over now. And I'm going to just deal with the consequences of the day. Sure enough, the guy turns up with the boxes and he starts working on the computer. And I start working out how I'm going to handle a full day being wiped off my calendar in 10 minutes. And I start noticing that my mental space is deteriorating somewhat. So I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting a bit angry, I'm just questioning my own sanity. Why did I agree to this? I can't really afford this amount of time today to put aside to this. What should I do? And I'm sure you've been in a situation like this where maybe it's a smaller thing, maybe it's a bigger thing, but something's come up that isn't in line with your plans for your day, for your life, for your week. And I think these moments are a good test and they're good opportunities to learn and practice responding in more and more constructive ways so that when really big, really frustrating things happen, I've got more tools, more resources, more practice in dealing with these type of situations. And so I started having to reach into my toolkit of options to handle this situation. So what do? I call one of my friends and I just tell him what's going on. And it's great to just have someone hear me, have someone listen and feel heard. And the next thing I do is I start writing down what it's going to be like to have a brand new computer. What it's going to be like to have a computer that doesn't have the spacebar issue, starting to imagine a computer that doesn't have all the cruft and all the leftover bits that my previous computer did because it's been used for a long time. Starting from scratch is a great opportunity. As I start to consider what it's going to be like when I've got the new computer, when it's all installed, when it's all working, I'm starting to get a bit excited about it. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it now. Just that mood shift of being frustrated, being angry, to being hopeful and being positive and being enthusiastic about the future. It sounds like a little thing, but it's actually a big thing. Because if I can do it in this little situation with the computer, maybe I can do it later in a bigger situation. Maybe it's a health thing. Maybe it's something that's happened to one of my family or something's happening in the world. There's so much crazy, frustrating, upsetting things happening in the world today. If I can do my best to handle things well at home in my own situation, in my own little context, maybe I can contribute in a better way to the bigger world. So he finishes his repair and I start on restoring my computer. And sure enough, I'm enjoying installing the application, setting them up and not having all the extra stuff around. And I'm really glad I accepted. And I think I passed this tiny little test. And I'm sure there's bigger, more challenging tests coming. But can I pass the little tests? Can I pass the little trials? That's the question. And that's the question for you listening is, what is a little test that you can pass on anything and do really well at? Maybe it's your partner says something and you don't respond in the same way you did before. Maybe it's a challenging situation coming up and you handling it in a new, different way. I think these little things add up and over time can build up more abilities and more options to respond to more and more challenging situations. And I'm really glad now that I have a fresh working computer. If you'd like to hear more from me, I send a weekly newsletter every Sunday where I'm sharing what's going on in my life or what I'm thinking about. There's a link in the description. And until next week, the journey continues.